Hi, beautiful people. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you all so much for being here. If you're an already existing subscriber, thank you. And if you are just seeing my video for the first time, thank you for stopping by. Please do not make it your last. Subscribe to the channel and turn on bell notification to get notified when there is a new video. So today we are making a beaded tie, and this beaded tie is going to be made with pearls, white pearls of course. So as you can see in the video, I just got them out, and yes, these are the items used to get this project started and finished. All right, so you get your fishing line, cut a desired amount that you can handle. So once that's done, you can get started. We're working with 0.35 mm for this project. And the technique for this project is called the matting technique. A really easy technique. We're working with fours. So now you're going to be picking four beads, and then the last one you're going to be going in with the same side of fishing line like so, and then the opposite side you're going to be taking it into the loop. Yeah, so you pull that down and then you have the first row. So we just completed the foundation. For the add-on, we need 3 extra beads because you'll notice now that your fishing line is holding on to one bead. So one on the left, one on the right, and for the last bead, we're going to be going opposite sides with the fishing line, like so. Okay, once you pull that down, you continue with the same pattern. So you continue with the same pattern until you get your desired breadth. I also wanted to let you guys know that I'm working with two methods to make my my beaded tie very flexible. That is how I make my beaded tie. I work with two methods to get each row done. I work with first the looping method like you're seeing. If you go through with just looping method, your work will be very firm. But if you need flexibility and not looseness for your work, I work with both the regular intercrossing method and the looping method. I do that with each roll to get a flexible tie. Okay, this is how to know a bit in Africa tie. So if you are doing this exact same thing, you're going to be coming out with a really luscious and flexible beaded tie. But if you go all the way all through with the looping method, your work is going to be very firm. So you can use that to make other pieces that needs to be firm. Strictly the looping method. If you want your work to be very loose, you can go with the regular intercrossing method. Okay, yeah. So as you can see, one loop, one intercross, one loop, one intercross until I get my desired breadth. Tip number 2, please while you're working, pull on your work. Pull on the fishing line on both sides so much so that you can feel that your work is firm or flexible as you want it to be, because no matter the technique that you're using, if you work on 2 or more rolls without pulling firmly, you would have a loose work, which would not produce the desired piece. So here I'm counting my breath because I've done the number of rows that I want to achieve. Now you're going to pick 3. For the last bead, you're going to be looping that up like so. Loop, put the other side into the loop, and then you pull that down. as you're seeing in this video. You're going to be repeating the same thing. I was just checking for flexibility and it was perfect. Pick 3 more beads to complete the 4. You pick 3, and the next one, the last one, I mean, you're going to be looping that up and then putting the opposite fishing line into the loop. This is strictly for firmness. So once you're done with that, you're now going to be passing the fishing line closer to the previous row into the next bead. Now you're going to add 2 beads on the other fishing line and then make a loop, put the opposite side into the loop, and then pull that down. You just completed the next square, so you just keep repeating the same process. We just completed the foundation of our beaded tie. We've gotten the breadth, now we go for the length. We're going to work our way up with the same pattern and get a desired length for the beaded tie. Making sure that we achieve our desired length. We have a short fishing line. Let's learn how to tie and end the line and add a new one to continue our work, shall we? The concept of tying your fishing line is going backwards like so. Make sure that you follow the line, you follow the beads as they go. You go back, just like taking steps backward and then meeting at a particular point. Okay, so you'll notice that I added needles. The reason I added needles is to make the work faster because I have less time. So I just decided to add needles. So adding needles is just the regular way of adding needles. Now that we have our fishing lines meeting at a point, we can now tie. So depending on the size of your fishing line, you'd know the required amount of times you need to tie. I tie at least 3 times. So I tie the first time. I try to find my way back to some other place and tie again just to have it very secure. So doing that, I'm sure that there is no way my work would break for any reason except a person uses scissors or blade to cut. It's not going to cut or break. So this is what you do whenever you tie. Make sure that you go into one of the beads and then pull the knot inside that particular bead. You see the knot? When I pull, it goes inside the bead and it's not visible. So it's important that you do your work in such a way that it's very neat. This is me trying to go one more step backward and tie again to make sure that my work is secure. You can call that two-factor authentication because I make sure that I can say for a fact that my work is perfect. So you can see where we came from, and now we're here and we're tying. So once we've done this particular tie, that will be it. So I was just going to show you guys what it means to not follow the right line. Look, the fishing line is visible. You don't want to do that. Make sure that you follow the beads as they go. You see what I've just shown you? Yeah. So sometimes when you try to go back with your needle, you might get hooked because you're not in the bead seeing exactly what line you're coming out from. So it's better you do it this way. Yeah. So after tying and securing your knot like this, it's now time to use your cutter and cut off the excess fishing line. Okay? And with this, you're sure that your work is very secure. This is how to end a short line and add a new one. You see how clean it is? Yes. So you get another fishing line enough to carry you through a good point, and then something that you can handle basically. Like I always say, take the amount of fishing line you can handle. So you just put one end into the last bead, and then the second end you're going to put that through the bead on the previous row, the first bead in front of the one that you're on from the previous row. So I'm just trying to do this, flatten the end of the fishing line and then add my needle. This is how to put in your needle. It's very straightforward. Use your plier to bring that out. You do same for the other fishing line. So once the other side of the fishing line is in, like I said, you go through the next bead on the previous row. Like that. You're out, and then you continue the pattern like you always have. So once that is done, you have perfectly secured your work and have now resumed the job. Miniso is one of my favorite brands, and I like to work with them in future because of course I use most of their products for work. And then to support this brand, please follow us on all social media platforms. Okay? Thank you all so much. As you can see, we've made progress. We've gotten to like half of the beaded tie, and that's beautiful. If you're practicing along, well done, you're doing amazing. Do not forget to subscribe and share the video so we have more people joining. So now the length of our beaded tie is 30. It's 30 rolls, and that's beautiful. So here's me just counting and making sure. What we're going to do here now is do a reduction of the breadth until it gets to 1, and it's just on this side. Okay, so we have 7 rows for this breadth, and we're going to get it down to 1. So we're going backwards just like we're about to tie, and then we are going to, instead of starting from the first one, we're starting from the second. Okay, so what you will now have is 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So watch the video closely so that you can see, understand, and practice what I'm doing. As you can see, we are walking through this like we always have. It's still the same pattern. The only difference is that we have now started from the second line. Okay, we did not start from the very first one. We started from the second one to give this V shape to this side of the tie. So as we have started at the second line, we would also end at the second to the last bead. Okay, you'll see it as we go. So you just pay close attention to what I'm doing. It is very easy to understand. Also, if you have gotten to this part of the video and you have any questions, please do let me know. I will be so excited to answer. Okay, thank you. We have gotten to the part where we are going to stop. So it's very important that you pay attention when you are at this end, because this is actually what makes the design. What we've been doing all the while can be used to make any other beaded piece, but this V shape at the end of the side is exactly what gives that look of a tie. Okay, so once we're done with this side, we move over to the other side and finish the piece. It's very easy. I hope that if you are practicing, you can also say so. I hope that this video has made it easy for you to make yours. Yeah, so of course, let me know in the comment section how it's been for you. So again, instead of starting at that end, we are going to move to the next one. We're starting from the next line, which is a reduction. Okay, so it's just reduction, removal of one. So you keep removing one until you get to the end of the side. So if you're practicing, please do not be confused. I just flipped the tie over to the side to be more comfortable. It's still the same end that I'm working on. Okay? So if you're working, you can switch both left to right. The constant thing should just be your pattern and where you're at. Okay? Yeah, I just thought to say that. Now that we have just added the last square, we've basically ended the side of the tie. We are now going to go backwards and tie, like you guys know already. So it's just going backwards, find a place, tie, go backwards again, find a place, tie. You guys know that I tie twice in two places to be sure that it's done perfectly. Okay, yeah, so that's what I'm doing now. Just tie, cut off the excess, and you're done with this end. We'll move over to the next one. If you have come to this point, you deserve a round of applause. Yes, you've done amazing. Can you guys see? Can you see that it's coming alive? Yeah. So we're done with this end. We are now at the other end. Now here is the place that is very close to the color of your shirt. Okay, so of course you know that these styles are very beautiful with any outfit with a color. So we are getting ready to work on this end, and it's one of the most interesting parts. So I'm counting how much space I want this to have. 2, 4, 6, 7. So here you're going to pick one bead, go in with your fishing line on both sides. Okay, so once you've got that, you pick one L and then you loop that up and pull down, pull it to the end, and you'd have something like this. So I had to put in the end of my tie because I need you guys to see what I'm doing. It was it was practically falling off. So now you go in on the next bead, you go in into the next beads on both sides, and then now you're going to widen it up. So when I say widen it up, you're adding more beads to give that like separation. Okay, you're going to keep widening it up till you get to the end. So I added 3 beads instead of 1, and here I'm going to be adding more. Okay, so you keep adding more beads. That open style that you see, because of course if we add one each, it will be equal and straight. Okay, but the more I add beads, the more it opens up. So here I added 4. So just watch me continue making progress. You see the way it looks? So watch me keep making progress until I get to the end. Well done. I've just added the last one, which is 9. And so I'll get to the front where I can find space to tie. So now I'll find a way to get both sides to a point, and then I'll tie. Really, really pretty. So like I said, you just get both ends to a point and then you tie. You tie twice, like you guys know, tie on one side, go to another place, tie, and then you're good to go. So once you've tied, you are good to go. The next point would be to add your accessory. Isn't this so stunning? So beautiful. So here I'm adding the extension for the accessory. Immediately you're done adding your fishing line, here is exactly how the extra beads for extension should look. So once you've added your hook, you are done. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Now we've come to the end of this tutorial. Thank you so much for watching, and let me know if you achieved a beautiful tie like this. Please do well to like, subscribe, and share this video. Drop your comments if you have questions. I'll be so glad to answer. See you in my next video. Bye.